peoples of the worldwide federated internets. What's good? What's going on? What's the day like out there for everyone? How easy is it for panic and fear to cause us to view rights as something that's easily set aside? And is it worth it? Is panic, fear, and the curtailing of our rights worth it? So pretty much what I'm saying is, taking our current situation, looking at the way everything has played out, did the fear and panic get us anything? Now, right now, we won't know. And in the future, it would be easy for any one of us to look and Monday morning quarterback. Of course, it's always easy in the future after an event to look back and say, oh, I would have done this or I would have done that. Any one of us could do that, right? None of us are all-knowing. None of us are psychics. We can't tell the future. But looking at the current situation and analyzing what is going on presently, is it worth it? Would it have been worse had we done something different? It's hard to say. It's hard to know. This is a complex situation. And I've said that in other videos. This situation is very complex. You have something that is unknown with information that is invalid. We have a virus that we've never seen, or a variation of a virus that we've never seen. The coronavirus, the corona strain of viruses itself is not a new thing, but this strain of coronavirus is new. And we also had false data from China. So how could we know? How could we know how any of this would play out? We could only go on what information we had. Now, these are just my thoughts. I'm not necessarily in this video saying anything definitive. So I'm not saying this is what I would have done here, or this is what I would have done here, or I would have done this, or I would have done that. I don't know what I would have done if I was in the president's shoes. I don't know what decision I would have made. But with that said, let's look at it from the people's perspective, from our level, right? So we're not at that level of government making decisions for millions of people. We're on our normal person, working every day. Some of us, some people are rich, whatever. Some people are day traders, whatever you do, however you get your money, do your thing. Some people are drug dealers, not justifying that, but it is what it is. People do what they do. So let's look at it from our standpoint. Now, if I was a person who owned a business, let's say I owned a family business, and this has happened. I've read stories and heard stories. This has happened to several people. Owned a family business or small business. Maybe I just opened my business up. Maybe my business has been in my family for a couple years, been up and running, and now it's under, and it will never come back. I'm done. This has completely wiped me out. If I'm that person, I'm saying, why did we do this? Why was I forced to shut my business down, not able to work? Now I don't have a business. Now I have to figure out what I'm going to do next. If I'm that person, it wasn't worth it. Now, let's take it to the next. Let's say you're a husband, you're a wife, you're a grandson, you're a sister, you're a brother, you're a boyfriend, you're a girlfriend. You lost a spouse in this thing, right? Your spouse contracted COVID, died. So in your mind, your thinking is, we didn't act early enough and we didn't do enough. You people need to stay in your house and not go out. You don't understand what happened to me. The duality. There's two different scenarios. It is not just one-sided. So this is why I ask, was a complete shutdown of the entire economy the proper way to handle this virus, this threat. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, but there's two sides to this. It's not one-sided, and I think it's to look at it from one lens really doesn't paint the full picture. This is a unique situation, and I'm not saying I have the right answer. Me personally, if I was president, I don't know what I would have done. Now, internally, I think to myself, maybe I would have approached this different. Maybe instead of shutting down the whole economy, I would have just said, hey, if we can, we need to, maybe wear masks and gloves. We'll do our best to make sure that we have a good enough supply so everybody can get this. Limit your activity if possible, but keep your businesses open. Maybe that's a better way. Maybe people don't lose their jobs. But I can't say that with a definitive answer that my approach is necessarily the right approach. Now, this is where I will get dogmatic. These different police precincts in different states arresting people for walking on the beach, getting in the water, outside playing with kids. I'm reading different stories of different things happening. One story, a man was on a beach, him by himself, mind you, nobody else there, and I don't know if he was arrested or if the cops told him that he had to leave the beach. One guy playing racquetball or something with his wife and I think his daughter. Police came up. I don't know exactly what happened. I know he ended up in cuffs. So the Constitution doesn't matter because of a virus? I'm not saying downplay the virus. I'm not saying not take this serious. I'm saying, do we not take our U.S. Constitution, the highest law in our land, do we not take that serious? Because if it doesn't matter, it never matters. And that's what's scary. If the Constitution doesn't matter now because of a virus, then the Constitution never matters, because there will always be a valid reason to suspend your rights or to say, yeah, you have this right, but unless this situation or this scenario happens. It's not an easy situation. In my opinion, the generic solution is take this virus serious, but we also have to understand we have a U.S. Constitution that we have to abide by. We can't just suspend this because there's a danger. That's my thoughts. Stay frosty, people.